Hey Coach, it's Matt here from the VIP Nutrition Coach Show. In today's episode, Kate and I are answering listeners' questions about generating pre-sold coaching leads. Pre-sold leads are the people who book in a call with you for the sole purpose of learning how to sign up with you. They're not just booking in looking for free info or to price shop you against low-cost competitors. In other words, these are the leads you want on your calendar. And our automated trust machine process is designed for this very purpose, generating pre-sold leads. So today we are answering listeners' questions like, do I need to run paid ads to have an automated trust machine? If I already have a funnel, how can I use the automated trust machine strategy to improve it? And am I ready for an automated trust machine if I only have 5 clients right now? This episode is a snippet from one of the weekly live trainings we do in the Online Nutrition Coach Community Facebook group. If you'd love to submit your questions to be answered on future shows, and also to hear the full episode, plus get access to weekly live trainings and resources to help you scale your online coaching business, you can head directly to the Online Nutrition Coach Community Facebook group or go to beyondmacros.com/community to get access plus a free bonus training to help you scale your nutrition coaching business without working a minute past 30 hours per week. All right, that's enough from me. Now for the episode. Kate and I are here today to do a little Q&A session for you on lead generation. For those of you who don't know, I'm Matt Walrath. I founded Beyond Macros. We were a very successful online nutrition coaching company, and now I help coaches like you build and scale your dream online coaching business. And this here is Kate, my partner in crime, our client success boss. So Kate, if people don't know you, who are you?
What's up, coaches? My name is Kate Jaramillo, and I am the client success boss with Matt at Beyond Macros. And I love what I get to do, which is help our amazing Build, Workshop, and Grow intensive coaches build and launch and scale the amazing nutrition coaches that drive income of your dreams and increase your impact all over the world. Amazing things happen with us.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Yeah, and I'm going to brag for her. Kate has built some really successful businesses in the nutrition coaching space, both one-on-one coaching, group coaching, and even built out the first ketogenic living certification. And she actually helped me build out my original certification. That's how Kate and I originally met. So Kate is an absolute genius. But yeah, I want to dive into what you have all been waiting for, which is this Q&A session on the automated trust machine and how to generate leads. So what I want you to do for a moment is just imagine what your life and business would be like if you could work 20, 30 hours per week, but your business was bringing in 10 to 100,000 per month. Because it might seem right now like that is a pipe dream, like that is a fantasy, but it is absolutely a possibility. There are coaches out there who are doing it. That's what we are teaching. And in order to reach that, we do need to create consistent, reliable, automated lead generation and nurturing strategies. That's one of the major paths to doing it. So I'd love to know for you, like, what do you imagine your life and your business looking like if at 20 to 30 hours per week, you can bring in that consistent 10 to 100,000 per month? You can drop in the comments. I'd love to hear what your vision is, what that fantasy is. But to highlight the other end of the spectrum, I remember what it was to be a coach who was charging 150 per month. I remember what it was. I don't know about you, Kate. I don't know if I've told this before, but I used to have my donation-based one-off sessions. That was a big mistake.
I used to charge $10 an hour.
Yeah. And I had to grind pretty hard just to find those clients. And I think there was a point where I was like, wow, I'm making like $200 a month from my 5 clients, you know? I was like, how am I ever going to make this a full-time business? And so if that's where you are, if you're still making less than $1,000 per month and you're just like, how am I ever going to make this full-time business? I remember being there. And ultimately, some of the things that we teach in the Build Workshop, how to actually create an offer that you can charge a premium for, that people are willing to pay, that's really foundational to it. But ultimately, one of the things that I found was I got to 20 clients when I was charging 150. I was only making $3,000 a month at that point. That wasn't enough for me. I was living in Los Angeles. That's not enough to live in a coastal town in Los Angeles. You could not. You could like eat for that. You know, you could get maybe like one restaurant meal a day for that, but you couldn't live. I was like, shoot, I'm spending so much time coaching these clients. I'm only making $3,000 per month. How am I ever, because I had to have my PT job, my other coaching job. I was like, how am I ever going to find the time to grow? I had to hustle and struggle so hard just to get those 20 clients. And I wasn't making enough to do it full time. So I was working like 60-hour weeks and it sucked. But then eventually I figured out a little bit more about this digital marketing game. I figured out a little bit more about how to create the VIP experience, created the VIP method. And then all of a sudden I increased my lead flow using automated strategies for marketing, for lead nurture. And then when I surpassed the 6-figure per year mark, I was actually working less because I was able to go full-time with nutrition coaching and I was able to make more money with less clients on my books. And eventually I was able to hire other coaches to deal with the lead flow that I was bringing in. And so I was still making additional income because I was, referring people out to other coaches. Okay, is there anything that you wanted to share with people?
Oh, yeah. So I was charging $10 an hour as well. And I just remember there was one point that I was doing like a multi-level marketing company and I was just hustling so hard. It felt like 24/7. And I wasn't even making like $1,000 a month. And I had been sold into that opportunity saying like, oh, it's so easy to make $1,000 a month. And oh, like, your friends and family will buy this stuff from you all the time. And it just wasn't like that. And I just got to this point where I was like, I can't be hustling this hard and doing the whole fake it till you make it thing, like taking my kids to the zoo for like 30 minutes, snapping a picture and posting it up on social media and it being a lie, being like, oh, look at my time freedom and blah, blah, blah. It wasn't true. Like I was just like living this lie. And so I felt like an imposter. And it was really weighing down heavily on my mindset. But it wasn't until I created a signature program, a signature offer, something that no one else in the marketplace was offering and that no one could do, no one could provide for my ideal soulmate client, that everything, my life completely changed. And now, like 5 years later from that point of like my lowest low to when I started that my signature offer and founded that company 5 years later to, multiple certifications, multiple 6-figure businesses, book deals, like thousands of clients at this point. I'm telling you, just everything completely changed for me. So if you are in that hustle and grind right now and you're not making the money that you want to make, I just want you to know that it is absolutely possible for you and it can actually happen. And it just takes some very minor things that can just make your whole world, like set the whole world on fire for you.
Yeah, and I think one of the major things is that mindset shift that you've got to have.
For sure.
That it is possible, because I see a lot of coaches who end up, they want to be nutrition coaches. I see this in the precision nutrition group a lot, where coaches are thinking about getting their PT certification because they don't think that nutrition coaching can be a full-time sustainable career. When we've got plenty of coaches in our I Quit My Job club who are evidence to the contrary. So, part of that is the multidimensional approach that we teach to coaching, which can very well include PT and programming for people, but you can absolutely make a full-time living off of online nutrition coaching. You have two people in front of you who are evidence of that. So hopefully that little mindset shift, at the very least, you take away from today. So Kate, you ready to dive in?
I'm ready.
Awesome. All right, here we go. First question, would you say that there are better ways to generate leads than ClickFunnels? So I just want to answer this one, making the distinction that ClickFunnels is just a software that you can build pages onto that allows you to create email sequences. It's really the thing that you put your content onto. It allows you to like take payments from people, collect information. ClickFunnels in itself will do absolutely nothing for you in terms of generating leads. If you go pay ClickFunnels $100, $300 per month, no leads end up coming. It's just the platform which you build your lead generation processes on. So as I made the distinction last week with a funnel, and I'll go deeper into this. I saw another question I want to go deep into this on, but a funnel is really like grab somebody's attention, make an offer to them, hope that they end up taking up the offer. And then from there, it usually means try to upsell them, try to downsell them, and then move them on. To me, a funnel in the coaching industry is a really bad way of going about things because it can break trust. So it's like if I sign up, for example, I signed up for a software the other day and they had a ClickFunnels page. And so with ClickFunnels, every ClickFunnels page looks the same, but I bought the thing, and then the next page was like, hey, everything that we promised on that last page, you kind of get it, but if you really want to get it, then you've got to buy this thing that's more expensive. And then I'm like, I don't want to buy that. And they're like, okay, cool. Well, how would you like to buy this other thing then that's a little bit less expensive than that? And I'm like, how can I just like get to the product already? And I had to skip through a bunch of annoying little upsells, downsells, cross sells just to get to it. And by the time that happened, I was already in this state of like, did I get what I paid for? Like, I'm not even sure if I did. Mm-hmm. And then the software actually didn't work well. And it was really difficult to install on my website. And so I immediately refunded and I will never do business with them again. And so it's one of those things where like they lost trust really early on. And then because they didn't provide me with a very good experience, both on support and the quality, just delivering what they promised, I absolutely would never do business again. And sometimes funnels are a quick way to get people into your programs, but they can also be a quick way to lose trust with people and have a bad advocate and somebody who will never do business with you again. So that's why we talk about the automated trust machine. We want to take people through a strategic process to build trust over time and give them the opportunity to become a customer when the time is right. We want to invite them in at the right time. And that's the process that I outlined for you last week. So yes, there are better ways to generate leads than ClickFunnels. And you could build those onto ClickFunnels. But I believe, and I'm biased, but the automated trust machine for an online coach is the 100% best way to actually generate leads. Because it happens on autopilot. But I will make one caveat and say that you can't just skip straight to automation. You actually have to dial in your social compounding. You have to be able to organically put out messages that resonate with people. Because just because you put it on a landing page doesn't mean that people are going to want it.
Exactly. Yeah. And just because you're adding a lot of other stuff in there, like this bonus and that bonus, and you get all these bonuses. When you buy, it doesn't matter, especially when those bonuses, like people aren't even using them. They don't have time to look at them. And a lot of times it's PLR that hasn't even been like rebranded. So no.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So I just realized my mistake. I started at the bottom. That was the last question I wanted to answer. I was like, this one's not that important, but here's some important questions. Do I need to run ads to have an automated trust machine? So my answer to you is no, you do not. Ads add fuel to the fire. They're like rocket fuel. But the thing is, the process that we take our coaches through in the Build Workshop when they're building out their automated trust machine is that we actually build it out and then we test it with their audience that already has some trust with them. And we see, does this efficiently and effectively move people further down their trust journey? And does it lead to people accepting invitations into becoming a client? And if it doesn't work with people who already have some degree of trust with you, if it's not creating that opportunity, then adding ads to it and adding people who have no freaking clue who you are to that automated trust machine, it's not going to all of a sudden perform. Because if people further along the trust journey, if it didn't move them even further along, it's not going to move people at the beginning of their trust journey any further along either. So you don't need to run ads to have an automated trust machine. We have coaches who are doing 10, 20, I don't know where Jane's at now, but probably close to 30,000 without running any ads. So yeah, you don't need to run ads at all if you want to build a business in that threshold. But one of the false dichotomies I want everybody to break through is this idea that the more income you earn, the more time you work. Like, my hair's wet because we started this at 11 a.m. I surfed from about 6 a.m. until 9 a.m. I grabbed coffee and breakfast with a friend, drove home 30 minutes, got home, showered, and got onto this stream. I work a lot of half days. I keep my mornings very sacred. And our businesses earn more money than what I just talked about. Earned more money than when I was working 60 hours. So there is an absolute false dichotomy that you have to work more to earn more. All right. So yeah, ultimately, you don't have to run ads, but if you want to get to the point in your business where you can hire someone like Kate, bring someone like Kate on your team who's an A player, who could probably have her own business this size, but wants to play with you in your sandbox, then having more opportunity coming in, more lead flow, more income is going to allow you to bring someone in who then can help you build your business in a way that you can work half days and you can both work half days and you can live that ideal lifestyle that you want to live. So I just want to throw it out there that, for anybody who's afraid of running paid ads, if you get your automated trust machine dialed in, if you have those processes dialed in organically and you put ads in the mix, all of a sudden you're hitting this inflection point where you can build a business that is going to grow rapidly. It's going to give you that financial freedom, like beyond what you've ever expected, but it also can create that time freedom because you can start to put a hiring plan in place to be able to deliver on the promise that your business has to your customers and to your clients without you necessarily having to be the one that does everything. So I know I take over the ones that say ads, but do you have anything that you want to add?
Nope, just agree with you. They're not necessary. They do add fuel to the fire, but you need to figure out if what you have is good and working, because otherwise, running ads to something that's already not stable and working is you're just throwing money away.
Yeah, just pouring it out. Yeah, cool. And Milena had a follow-up question, so let me pull that up. So Milena asked, what if there's no existing audience? So, I just mentioned, of course, that you want to launch it to your existing audience first. So, Kate, if you don't have an existing audience, what would your first step be?
You're going to build one. You're going to build one. And let me tell you, it's not a difficult thing to build one. And it really does, though, start with, and I know we've said this a lot on trainings. You probably hear me say this all the time, but it really starts with having your ideal soulmate client dialed in. I talk to coaches all the time that said, oh, I've done that avatar worksheet, or I've done the avatar thing before, but they never really had somebody, their coach, a mentor, go over it with them and ask questions to make sure that the client, that their ideal client, their soulmate client, who they can't wait to serve every single day, is super, super dialed in. So that way the messaging goes directly to them. And that way we can find them on their social media platform of choice. We can find them and invite them to connect with us, or they follow us, or whatever it is. However we bring them into our lives, it starts with identifying who they are. Then we find them, then we bring them into our lives, and we are constantly showing up, creating content that speaks to them. We start conversations that are truly just about getting to know them. Because guess what, coaches? Not everybody is going to be a fit to work with you, and you have to invite people to work with you. This is a really important mindset to grasp around the idea of sales and growing your business, is that working with you is by invitation only. So you are going to dial in your ideal client, you're going to find them, you're going to connect with them, you're going to start to generate conversation and just get to know them. And if they are the right fit for you, and if they start commenting and things on the amazing content that you're putting out, it's an invitation to engage them in conversation, to take it further down the road in hey, I may have some tips for this. Would you like to jump on a call together? And taking it from there. But growing your audience starts with knowing who you want to work with and who you want to serve.
Absolutely. Because then the pools where they are and you can go play in those pools. And one thing that you mentioned that really stuck there is the idea of that, like for somebody like Milena, if you're just starting and you don't have an audience and you don't have many clients, then there might be some desperation that comes into things that makes it difficult to think about you're inviting people in and that they're essentially interviewing to be your client. It might feel like I need to make this work and therefore I'm willing to take on anybody. If you look at any of the case studies of our successful clients, that's exactly where they were. And that's one of their biggest regrets that they had when they were starting out, is that they would work with anybody. And so it diluted their messaging and it diluted their fulfillment, and they would work with a lot of people who they gave their energy away to, and it made it difficult for them to find and serve their soulmate clients. I think that you were on the stream, but if you watch the stream with Lucinda, one of the things that she talked about is how, the clients that ended up not sticking with her for a year or more, because we got her retention rate up to a year or more with our VIP method, they are the ones who she had a gut feeling on the call that they weren't her soulmate client, but she took them on anyway because she just wanted clients. And that is honestly one of the biggest mistakes that I see coaches making, is bringing people on who are absolutely not the right fit. And as Kate mentioned so eloquently, comes down to having that extreme definition of who they are and where they are. And then you can go out and find them. And get good at writing to them.
Which we help you with.
Yeah. Awesome. So let's see. Next question. Am I ready for an automated trust machine if I only have 5 clients right now? I have some thoughts about this, but Kate, since you're on a roll.
I believe you are. I mean, look, if these are 5 soulmate clients, if you know who they are, again, you know who your soulmate client is, and these 5 clients are that soulmate client, great. What you're doing with them is working. Awesome. You know exactly how you want to serve them. You know exactly what their struggles are, what their pain points are, what their biggest fears are. You know what their biggest goals are, and you know that you can get them there. Heck yeah, you're ready for an automated trust machine. Let's call in those soulmate clients. Let's bring them in and serve them. Let's give them an opportunity to learn from you and position yourself as the expert to them, because otherwise, how are they going to know that you're out there? How are they going to know that your solution exists? Yes, you're ready. It doesn't matter how many clients you have. It matters who you want to serve and the fact that you absolutely know them and that you have an amazing offer and an amazing process that can get them to where they want to be.
Yep. Amen. And my distinction here would be, it depends. If you're talking about 5 clients who are guinea pigs, who you are not charging anything to, and they're all over the board in terms of whether they're your soulmate client or not, then no, you're probably not ready. The way that we sequence the growth and building of coaches' businesses when we work one-to-one with them is that the automated trust machine is actually one of the last phases of building the foundation of their business. We want to make sure that you've got your ideal client, you've got your offer, that you've got a great experience you can take people through so that retention is high. And we need to make sure that you understand how to generate leads through social compounding, through social media, through having those conversations, and that you can actually enroll people on the phone and on a sales call. So we want to build up all of those skills with the coaches we work with before we implement the automated trust machine strategy, because if you have all those foundational pieces and then you put this strategy on top, then all of a sudden it's like, boom, your business is going to take off. It's a huge inflection point. But if you have a weak foundation, then the automated trust machine is not as effective. And so the thing is, if you've got 5 clients and you have, let's say, a 6-month program that's $3,000 or more, then yeah, you're probably ready for an automated trust machine, because your client lifetime value is going to be really high. And so if you want to add paid ads to it, then the likelihood that your ads will be profitable is a lot higher. If you've only got 5 clients, but you've really dialed in your messaging and they're soulmate clients and you've figured out how to get a lot of conversations going, you've increased your sales skills to the point where you can enroll somebody in your sleep, then yeah, you're probably ready for an automated trust machine. So it's not the client load that you're at that dictates whether or not you're ready for it. It comes down to, do you have a high value, premium, no competition offer, or do you have an offer that's like a commodity where they can compare it to every other precision nutrition coach, or they can compare it to every, Weight Watchers facility? It's like, do you have a commodity? If you have a commodity, no, you're absolutely not ready for a trust machine. It comes down to, can you create messages that create leads organically through social compounding? If no, then you probably don't have what it takes to create the strategic content portion of the automated trust machine in a way that's going to build trust with that soulmate client. And so no, then you wouldn't be ready for an automated trust machine. So all of these things are really important and foundational. And that's why when we are mentoring coaches one-to-one, these are the foundational pieces that we make sure are in place before we launch the automated trust machine to the world. Hope that makes sense. Hope that answers that question for you.
Yeah. And we help our coaches get the systems in place for lead flow to make sure that they're ready to take on a lot of clients all at once, that their client experience is really dialed in, that all, no one's falling through the cracks. Everyone's got, their milestones and they can check in with them. All of those things do need to be dialed in as well, so that you can get ready for this incredible lead flow of clients.
Yeah. Awesome. So we've got a couple questions. The next ones are more about just lead generation in general, not necessarily the automated trust machine, but these are great questions. How would you go about bringing in leads if you are just starting? And Kate, you're real good at this, so take it away.
Start showing up consistently with amazing content that is going to create contextual conversations. How do you do that? Your ideal client. You know what they're struggling with. You can use their words in your content. It's amazing, because when you do that, your soulmate client's like, oh my God, I feel like you were speaking to me in that post. And you're like, I was. So you've got to know, you've got to show up consistently for them. And it's so important that they see you all the time, because if they're investing with you and they're trusting you with very personal information, because health and lifestyle, it's a very personal thing. And they're going to tell you things about themselves and about their personal life that they wouldn't tell just anyone, but they need to know that you're going to be there for them. And if they see you consistently showing up for free for your audience, they're going to be like, oh, this person's going to definitely be there for me. And they know what they're talking about. So creating that content, showing up consistently and delivering that content on, the social media platform that they are. We like Facebook. And I think that's, for me, it's the best way to generate conversations and relationships. But you're going to show up consistently. You're going to speak their language. And you're going to find them in other groups. And you're going to interact with them as a human being. Like, not someone who is literally just there to talk about fitness and nutrition and wellness. Just be yourself and create friendships. Because look, can we ever really have too many friends? I mean, are you ever complaining, God, too many people really love me? No. So just go and think of interacting with your ideal soulmate client, or, finding them or interacting with people in groups as, this is awesome. I am spending my day working, making friends. And then they're going to see your content popping up all the time. And you're like, this guy is everywhere. Maybe I should read some of the posts. Maybe I should watch some of those live videos. Maybe I should really tune into what this person's saying, because they seem to really know their stuff. I mean, they show up all the time. People follow them. So maybe I should watch. Oh, maybe I know somebody that should watch. And that's where it starts to compound. And that's where the magic happens.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. The reason that we call our method of lead generation using social media social compounding is because, if you don't know the concept of compound interest, if you are getting 1% interest that compounds on $100, next year you would think that you'd have 101. The next year you'd get another $1. But eventually, at some point, with compounding interest, because you've earned so much money from the interest, eventually it hits this inflection point. Instead of just being linear growth, it's like, okay, it looks linear and then boom, it hockey sticks. The growth happens really fast. And so with a lot of the coaches that come into the Build workshop who are just starting out, they don't really have much established in terms of a social media presence. They haven't really established themselves even in their personal networks as being someone who can help with nutrition, health, lifestyle, things of that nature. Then there is this building up phase of, again, trust, getting people to trust that you have competency in those areas and that they align with the values that you have. And so there is going to be a period for anybody who's starting out where it feels like things aren't working. And one of the best ways that you can combat this and grow faster, hit that growth point faster, is actually a mindset thing. Of course, I'm all about inner work, stuff between the ears. And that big mindset thing is that you need to focus on the next step in front of you. So I explained this to one of our clients on a sales workshop call that we run for our clients every Wednesday. So essentially, you've got a few steps that people are going to go through. Is your content will then create conversations. And then from there, you've got to take that conversation and you've got to move that conversation towards a call. And then you've got to move from a call to a client. So those are the main steps in the journey. Of course, there's trust building aspects within it, but that's the main thing. So this person, relatively brand new to coaching, they had a completely different career before, and they didn't have much of a social media presence. So for them, we had gotten them to the point where they went from nobody responding to their content to overwhelmed with the amount of messages that they had. Yeah. But they were worried that they hadn't generated a whole flood of clients just yet. But in a short period of time, they went from nobody responding to anything they were doing to a flood of conversations. So for them, their bottleneck was actually going from conversation to call. And so if they focused on the fact that like, oh no, I'm not getting clients right now, they would completely miss the fact that their best opportunity to improve their lead generation in front of them would be to improve their ability to transition from a conversation in Messenger, DM, whatever, to a call. And then who knows, maybe their sales skills are absolutely amazing and everyone they get onto the call enrolls because they've got such an amazing offer that Kate helped them make. But then if they're like, okay, now at this point, I'm still not converting clients, they know that they can show up to the sales workshop call with me every week and I can help them improve their sales skills, role play with them, and get them to that next level. And because instead of thinking, I'm not at the end result yet, when they're just starting out, because they thought, okay, I'm improving. Here's my bottleneck. How do I improve it? Cool, I'm improving. Here's my new bottleneck. How do I improve it? And if you follow that, you will much more quickly get to that end result of a flood of clients, way more clients on the books. And not only that, you've learned every step along the way to such a high degree that now you can do that on autopilot in your sleep. That's the thing, is if you focus on the process in each stage of the process, then that's why things compound. So you get so good at every step of the process, you can probably train somebody else to do it. They can do it for you.
Yeah. You know? And something that Matt has said before is you can't have more clients than you're having conversations. So just really let that sink in. If you're just doing this like Field of Dreams business, I got certified, so now all these clients are going to come to me. It doesn't work that way. You've got to show up. You got to create content that is driving conversations, and then you've got to have those conversations. Open them up, not in that like sleazy "hey girl" type of way, or like "hey man," whatever. Not in that sleazy kind of way, but actual contextual conversations, or conversations that are literally like you're just opening them up as a friend to get to know somebody. Because guess what? When you open up conversations with somebody, it changes the algorithm, and people see your posts more.
We got some banger questions, so stay tuned. How do you get your ideal client to find and notice you? I think we already covered this, but Kate, is there anything else hearing this question or seeing this question asked a different way that this brings up for you?
Well, it depends also on like what social media platform, again, you're using, because like on Instagram, maybe you really need to use like the hashtags and the stories and things like that your ideal client would be using and searching for, following and being connected with their followers. Something else that we talk about and that we train our coaches in is the idea of micro influencers. And this is so cool because you're actually leveraging the audience of someone else who has a similar audience as you, but doesn't have the same type of thing. Like they don't offer the same thing, but they have the same ideal client as you. So the two of you connect and you're able to get in front of each other's audiences. So that's one really easy and such a fun way for your ideal client to find and notice you and build credibility in front of them.
Yeah. Awesome. Somebody asked, would your strategy work well for fitness coaching as well? And I'm not 100% sure what fitness coaching means. There's no like definition of it per se, but I imagine that you mean like personal training or online training. And absolutely. I mean, the coaches who we mentor, there is a wide variety. The thing is, Kate and I, our experience is in online nutrition, online health coaching, and online training. So for us, it's like, yeah, we believe that we can help anybody with this strategy. I think it works for any online coach. But the thing is, because Kate and I have been so focused on the nutrition and the health side of things, and especially on like the personal development mindset kind of coaching, that's who we teach this to, is the coaches who we know intimately about what it is that you're delivering to your clients. So yes, absolutely. You know, this works for online trainers. This works for online life coaches. This works for online health coaches. This works for online nutrition coaches. And as we talk about with multidimensional coaching, if you can bring all those tools into one toolkit, into one offer, it's going to be so much more strong. It's going to be so much better received by your market. And that's the type of things that we help you with in the Build Workshop. Is we help you create that irresistible offer. We help you figure out how to bring all of your gifts into your offer, because the thing is, there are millions of online nutrition coaches out there. So if you give that label to yourself, then you get compared to every other online nutrition coach. You can now be price shopped. And that's why Kate and I help our coaches create no competition offers, so that they truly stand out and their prospects believe that you are the only person on the face of the planet that can help them. That's what we need to do foundationally. That's one of the main things that we do in the Build Workshop. And then from there, we've got tons of different lead generation strategies, no matter where your clients are. Tried and tested ones to help you build your business to 10,000 per month and beyond. And we can help you use our VIP method to figure out how to make sure that even if you've got imposter syndrome now, you feel really freaking confident about the experience that you deliver to your clients using the VIP method. You know, we do a VIP experience audit on every coach who comes through our program to make sure that they've got a beautiful, remarkable experience for their clients. And of course, we teach you the details of how to create an automated trust machine that resonates with your clients using strategic content throughout. You know, what's going to make the most sense for your offer. So we've got a few more questions. Here's a really good one. How many steps should a potential client walk through before they are presented with your paid program offering? This is a really good question. Kate, should I take this or you?
Go ahead.
Okay, cool. Do you like how I phrased that question so that I can take it?
Yeah.
All right. So the way that I see it is that, and I outlined this in last week's training on the automated trust machine. If you haven't watched it, go watch it or type ATM replay and we'll send you over that replay. But ultimately, some people are going to be pretty much immediately ready to get started. So you actually want to give them the avenue towards your paid program offering. So you want to give them an avenue towards working with you at pretty much every step. You don't always want to be like, join. You need to give value without expectation. But the thing is, you never know when somebody has hit that trust threshold and that point in their trust journey where they're like, Matt's the only person on the face of the earth who can help me grow my online nutrition coaching business to be one that I'm in alignment with. It's like, you never know when someone's going to hit that point. So you do want to give them the avenue towards it, but you don't want to constantly be pitching them on it, because people will get really fatigued on pitch. That's one of the reasons that we start every single client relationship with a no pitch call, a value call. And then eventually, if it makes sense, then we can get to a call where we can see about helping you and potentially inviting you in if it's the right fit. And so you want to give people the opportunity to go down that path if they're ready for that path. But people are going to be ready for that path at different times. And that's why we want to give them that avenue. Now, there is this rule in marketing called the rule of 7, where essentially this thing scrolling is killing me, so I'm going to take it off the screen. But the rule of 7 is essentially that it takes 7 touches of your marketing to get somebody into a position where they're ready and willing to sign up with you. And the thing about the rule of 7 is that we get barraged with so many advertisements and marketing messages these days that I believe that has increased massively. It takes like 21 or more touches to get somebody through that trust journey to really be ready to move towards working with you. So if you're asking, if this question, whoever asked it, is about how many funnel steps that you need, it's not set in stone. And if you looked at, I sent to a bunch of people who were interested on last week's stream what our automated trust machine like map looks like, but you'll see it's not a funnel. It's just like strategic process to build trust. So you want to continually build trust ad infinitum, forever. You always want to have strategic content that is going to build trust, but you want to have that automated trust machine process, those automated processes. You want it to be just long enough that, let's say, 60 to 80% of people are going to have built enough trust to want to go down the avenue of seeing whether or not it's a fit to work together. That's how many steps it takes. And it differs from person to person, from offer to offer, from avatar to avatar. So there's no set in stone answer. It really comes down to how long is it going to take to build enough trust, and just always give them that avenue towards having a conversation with you to see whether or not it's a good fit. So that's what I have to say about that. Anything to add before we move on, Kate?
Oh, just that you probably are on a million email lists because you signed up for a bunch of free things. And so think about how much time it's taking you, how many touch points it's taking you to become a client, if you're becoming one at all. And those are just from like the funnels and the freebies.
This person asked, if I already have a funnel, how can I use the automated trust machine strategy to improve it? And the main thing is that a funnel, I've talked about some of the reasons why I don't love funnels, but another reason why I don't love funnels is because for the most part, if you don't immediately convert, if you don't immediately become a client, or you don't immediately give someone your email address, or you don't immediately convert, then that's it. On to the next one. And sometimes it breaks down trust. So if you have a funnel, the thing is, you've got potentially a process. Let's say, one of the most common funnels in the coaching and consulting industry is ad to landing page to webinar, webinar to email sequence to inviting somebody onto a strategy session. Okay, so that's the most common funnel. And we have a webinar. I do our VIP method training. Some of you have probably gone through it. Some of you, that's probably how you ended up in this group on this stream. But the thing is, it's not just a funnel, because if I had to rely upon just that webinar to move people towards wanting to book in that call with me, then I am missing out on the opportunity to work with so many people. Because yes, that funnel does get calls booked on our calendar, and it does lead to people signing up for the Build Workshop. But the thing is, it's only the most motivated. It's only the people who probably knew about me and Kate before. It's probably the people who are just like, they know that they need help right now, that are going to book that call in. And that completely forgets the thousands of other people who signed up for that webinar and didn't watch it, or signed up for that webinar and aren't quite ready for mentorship yet, or signed up for that webinar and they're not quite sure who we are and whether they can trust us yet. And so in a traditional funnel sense, I would lose all those people. Sure, I might have them on my email list now. They might get my automated sequence. They might get my broadcasts. But the thing is, that alone doesn't convert people. Email open rates are going down quite a bit. Click rates going down quite a bit, as Kate just mentioned. email marketing still works really well. But the thing is, to rely on them viewing a webinar or them opening an email from me to develop that trust, it's ineffective.
Yeah.
It doesn't maximally capture all of those leads who I've paid for. It doesn't maximally build trust with all those leads who I've paid for. So for me, if you have a funnel, you can implement our automated trust machine framework within it and our automated trust machine strategic content strategy to be able to take it from just a basic funnel where you essentially get maybe 1-2 strikes when you're up at bat before you're out, to all of a sudden you can play all 9 innings. You can get all 3 strikes if you need to. It's like you are at bat every single time with your client. It's like you've got so many opportunities with live streams like this, with value posts, with emails, with potentially text messages. Some of you might have got a text notification about this because you opted in for our VIP notification list. You've got so many more opportunities to show people the strategic content meant to build trust and show them that you are the only person on earth that can serve them. So it doesn't matter if you've already got a funnel. The ATM is going to be like this thing that, imagine you could put some magic substance into your car and all of a sudden it was getting like 10 times as many miles per gallon. It's like, that's what the automated trust machine could do for your funnel.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I got to say about that.
And there are pieces that you can take from your funnel because you probably have a lead magnet that's going to something else, that's going to, or maybe that's going to your webinar and some sort of other opt-in thing. And you can still use pieces of this to go elsewhere and to build trust with your audience and with your soulmate client. I just onboarded a client today that we're doing the same thing with, and it's super duper exciting. And she was so relieved that she didn't have to do another live webinar because the first one wasn't super great for her, but we figured out a way to make it work for her automated trust machine. She was like, oh my God, that's completely in alignment with me. Yay.
Everybody, thank you so much for showing up for yourself and for your business. That's a massive step. I really want to just say that I respect you so much for doing it. What I found is the best way to take action, that first action on information that you've learned, to actually take it from just info in your head to actions you can take to change your life and business, is to share your takeaways. Because as soon as you write it down, write it out, share it with the world, it crystallizes in your mind. And then it's something that you can move into action. Kate, anything before we sign off?
So I want to say that, just kind of to piggyback on what Matt said, take what we're talking to you about, your biggest takeaways, and implement them immediately. Because the longer that you sit with things, the longer that those feelings of imposter syndrome can creep in, especially if you don't have a coach or mentor to help you, work through those feelings. But take immediate action. Matt has been so incredibly successful in his own business and with the mentorships that he's invested in because they give him advice and he implements it immediately. So when you tell us what your biggest takeaways are, take action on them. And then we want you to comment and let us know how those actions are turning in and how they're turning into clients for you or conversations, or just how they're transforming your business in a positive way.
Awesome. I love it. Thanks so much, Kate. Really appreciate you always showing up for the community as well. And hey, everybody, just want to say much love. I hope you implement whatever you've learned from today, and it brings you lots of clients, lots of happiness, and everything you could ever wish for. Peace out.
Bye.
All right, coaches, that's it for today's episode. If you'd like to hear the rest of this training, get access to tons more like it, plus free resources to help you scale your online coaching business, you can head directly to the Online Nutrition Coach Community Facebook group, or go to beyondmacros.com/community to get access. Plus, I'll send you a free bonus training to help you scale your nutrition coaching business without working a minute past 30 hours per week. I hope to see you in the community so I can put a face to the name. I'll see you there, and until next time, much love, legends.